debris scattered everywhere. We have major damage. We had grain bins in the middle of the road, tractors. Just absolutely intense. Welcome back, Internet. It's Clarence again. We're out chasing. It's the middle of July, near the end of the season, but it may be our best chance yet. I feel like tornadoes are imminent here within the next hour, lasting, well, 2 to 3 hours perhaps before they congeal into more of a linear storm. I'm in northern Boone County, which is a pretty dead center in Iowa. We have some very low cumulus bases here, very dense cumulus field. Should start to form together. We've seen some cells with precipitation so far, but it's really shaping up to look like a good environment for tornadoes. Earlier we had a line of storms move through the northern half of the state, which left an outflow boundary. That is basically, if you think of a boat or a jet ski going over water, the waves on the surface kind of leading back behind the storms. That in turn is interacting with a low-level jet coming out of the west. When those collide, the resulting I guess cumulus form that you're seeing here is what we're starting out with. And hopefully the cells stay discrete enough and don't form into a line again. I think, as I mentioned, we'll have 1 to 3 hours of good chase opportunity here. We'll just kind of have to keep an eye on exactly where we're at. There's been a small cell pop up here just to the north of Boone. But there are a few opportunities here to chase today in the northern half of Iowa. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll catch one today. Soon after I recorded that video, I found myself about a mile southwest of Stratford, Iowa. It wasn't very impressive on radar, but as I got closer to the storm, I could see a rain-free base there in the west. As it approached, I could see it was a pretty strong updraft, and as it got closer still, there was some definite rotation. We are just to the southwest of Stratford, Iowa. We have an inflow band and what appears to be circulation just almost right above us here. Looking to the north, I'm on a gravel road. Oh, I'd say 2 miles south of town. Very low level rotation. I'm gonna take a break here to call this in. So I shut everything down, called the local National Weather Service office in Des Moines, gave my report. There hadn't been a funnel at that point, but just the low level strengthening rotation I felt was justified. So afterwards, after I hung up, began to tweet and then realized that there actually was a tornado that briefly touched down just to the east of town, just barely missing it. So I quickly got in the car, started to pursue where the tornado was. It was very slender at this point, not terribly strong, but I followed it as it passed Stanhope. Eventually I had to make a turn north. After the first funnel dissipated, there was a brief time where there were 2 funnels, 2 tornadoes, and then the stronger one that had kind of, the rotation had built backwards, took over and became the dominant tornado and was actually stronger. We are on a tornado-warned storm near Webster City. It has been producing a tornado off and on since Stratford, moving east-northeast, about 25 miles per hour. On a gravel road. About to come up on this tornado. It is on the ground. You can see some faint subvortices here and there. decently wide mesocyclone. I first called in the rotation at 409. As I said, a couple miles, or really when it was just getting on top of Stratford. It is now 427. There's an additional tornado warning further west, pretty much along Highway 20. About a mile in front of us right now. A good-sized tornado here in front of us. That baby is churning, tearing up some corn, that's for sure. Some debris, some corn leaves falling on us. Try to get in them. Really strong winds. About a mile south here. Really strong tornado. Its damage path here. We're now on the backside. Good clip. Maybe starting to weaken here. From what I could tell, there was not any structural damage, which was really quite miraculous. one avoiding those small communities, but it seemed to avoid most farmsteads as well. I could see corn and beans being shredded. Even had a little bit of debris fall where I was, just about a mile or maybe even a half mile south of the tornado. I was not out there alone. There were other storm chasers, then pretty strong law enforcement presence, several state troopers, firemen, your typical trained spotters. So hats off to them in keeping up with the tornado and following it for quite some distance. As it got near Ellsworth, the tornado started to weaken a bit, and I could see on radar there were other cells that had kind of built to my southwest that would eventually overtake and kind of cut off the energy and moisture supply of that storm as they kind of congealed into a line. It was quite a special chase, very exciting, close range. You could really see the detail, the suction, the power of the tornado, and it was on the ground for quite a bit of time. I made my first reports just after 4 o'clock. Touchdown was about 4:10, and it was off and on the ground quite a bit for, I would say, 30 or 40 minutes. For an otherwise pretty weak year storm-wise for Iowa, big finale. We'll see if there's any more yet to July, maybe in the fall. Otherwise, we'll be looking for more chasing, more storm stories here coming in 2022. In the meantime, though, I encourage you to subscribe and like this channel, share it with your friends. I'll be posting some videos more around the behind the scenes of storm chasing, my methodologies, my thoughts, my gear, all that fun stuff. So again, appreciate your support, stay safe, and we'll talk to you next time.